Welcome, everybody, to the show. Joining us is our regular co-host and fellow traveler, Dan, the Dan Noodles Man, the Rudy Roy Moore of Wargaming. Welcome, everybody, to the show. And we're going to do another Wargaming trivia night. Now, I've looked at Kahoot. I haven't experimented with it yet, so we're going to use Jeopardy Labs again. But this time, there's a critical difference, folks. Dan has come up with the questions. This is going to be amazing. I hope that you are watching live because the impact that this is going to have on the wargaming community is incalculable.
Well, yeah. Anyways, you're going to be demonetized a couple of times.
Possibly, yes.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to try and do this more or less using the same format as we did last time. So there'll be trivia questions. I will have Dan pick the questions. I will run the board and read the questions, and Dan will keep score, and we'll try not to fuck anything up, which is unlikely, but we'll try.
Is there any way we can have someone in the comments pick a subject, and we just pick someone at random?
We could. Somebody in the comments volunteer to be the question picker for us. How about that? Or
anybody just ask questions, and we pick at random.
The problem is that like three people will throw it in, and then we'll have to sit there and about figuring out which question to ask, right?
All right. Go for it. Go ahead, Artie.
All right. So I think we can assume that these will not be the same kinds of questions as last Wargaming Trivia Night when I picked the questions, and some of them were, let's say, not perfectly tuned to anybody. Well, that's okay. These are going to be amazing, Dan. I have complete confidence in you. It's going to be great.
Look at Manders, eh?
Toilets and mushrooms. That's probably Dan. I'm only going to be upset if there's multiple questions that refer to your toilet or mushrooms. You're allowed one toilet question and one mushroom question. Okay, so who is the greatest Canadian wargaming fan? I mean, is there even a contest? I mean. So Mr. Mark Herman is here. Mark, thanks for stopping by. As you can see, you are your own Jeopardy category.
Sorry,
and I have not peeked at this. I have no idea how offensive this is going to be. So let me apologize on Dan's behalf in advance. So this is going to be fantastic. Whoever got the correct answer picks next, but I don't want to have to wait for people either. So that's why
Go ahead.
I'm thinking you pick a question, Dan, and we'll see what we got. And just shout your questions out. We'll try and identify the first person with the correct answer.
Put it up on the board.
Oh, I got to put the board up. How about that?
Yeah. Okay. So you know what? Stigler for 100.
Stigler for 100 would not be caught dead playing this type of game. Actually, Dan, this is fantastic. I got to say, this is fantastic. Now, remember, you got a pencil and paper. You got to keep score here, Dan.
I'm keeping score.
So, Mark is in an alternate reality.
Oh, look, we got...
All right, so I think we got William Burr. I'm showing HUN 644 as the first person. Where's the answer? There we go. Spacebar. There we go. What is a solo game? So HUN 644 gets 100 points. And then we go back here. All right, Dan, pick us another question. A decision game would have been a perfectly good choice. What was this?
A joint before this, man.
Well, it's legal here now too, but I will not be partaking this evening. So
all right, so let's do Mark Herman for 300.
All right, Mark Herman for 300. I will never play this nation in a war game. I think we're supposed to take this as a first person from Mark's voice. I think is how we're supposed to say that.
Turkey.
I'll let a couple answers roll in before I reveal it because I don't know the answers to this either. I have not peeked. I mean, I do know the answer to this, but I have not.
Are you guys doing or what?
This is probably not a terrible idea considering how much Mike cleaned up last time. All right, I think I got Manders first here. I think this is the answer. Nazi Germany. I think I can sympathize with this. The great thing about saying you won't play Switzerland is there were very, very few games that you were excluded from thereby.
How much was this? That was 300 B?
This was 300. All right, Dan, give me another Luxembourg. I am aware of a couple of war games that have the Swiss in them. I am aware of 0 Luxembourg-based war games. There's probably at least a couple, but I can't think of any offhand. Dan, pick us a question.
Let's go for Dan for 200.
Dan for 200. These are going to all be about your toilet. My favorite Frenchie hosts this YouTube channel. You like all the Frenchies, don't you? But I think there's only one Frenchie inside our community that has a YouTube channel. That can't be right.
Hello?
Somebody's going to get it. A bunch of people are lucky little Luxembourg. All right, so.
Well, hold on a second.
Yes. Well, this is the name of the. This is so HUN644 is. I think we should take Fred's name because nobody calls it Homo Ludens except for Fred. We call it Fred's channel.
It's up to you. Okay.
So we'll take Fred's name.
Wait. How much?
This was 200. Dan for 200.
Damn. I'm selling myself short here.
All right. Not a problem. All right, Dan, pick another question.
Okay.
HUN644 new is in the lead right now.
Let's go Stigler. It's a tough one. For 400.
Stigler for 400. Buy sword and bayonets is the blank of the GBACW. I am not at all sure exactly what Dan is fishing for here. I have some guesses, of course. But like I said,
I'm mistaken the phrase.
I didn't peek. So we'll let some answers roll in, and then we will...
Let me rephrase it. By sword and bayonets is the...
Blank?
What number in the series of the great battles of the American
I don't even. I could 7 or 8. 8 sounds right. I'm guessing. I got them all, but I'm guessing.
So what number in the series is it? I know they're checking the Googles.
This is we can't keep people from doing that. I'll reveal the answer and see if anybody got it at this point.
Perfidious.
Ninth installment. I was close. I don't think anybody else got that. Dale Brady said 12. T-Bond 6219 said best. It might be. We don't know that yet. First, that's just mean. Jeff, you're being mean.
So Perfidious, how much did you get? $400.
Nobody got any. Did Perfidious Albion answer correctly? The ninth?
Yeah, man.
All right, we'll give it to Perfidious Albion. I'm not sure he got that in before I revealed it, but
no, he got it in before.
But okay, we will give it to you then. I knew it wasn't the 7th, but I'd have to stick my head out the door and count them on the shelf. I might be able to see them from the doorway. So, all right, Jeff's going for the best wrong answer, which is a pretty valid strategy to be completely honest about it. All right, Dan, give us another question here.
Holy crap! Why don't you pick one, Artie?
All right, I will take. You feel lucky for 100. 1,500 soldiers received this during the I think ACW means American Civil War here.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess herpes.
Jeez, that's not.
I don't think that's not a serious answer. I don't think that's the answer.
That's not a lot of herpes.
I'm not sure there's statistics on that. All right, I think we got some good guesses here. Medal of Honor. I am showing Vince Ree with the first correct answer on that. I'm not actually sure that the Purple Heart was being awarded at that point. So give that 100 points to Mr. Vince Ree.
He's got it.
All right, Dan, give me another question.
Let's take Mark Herman for 200.
Mark Herman for 200. I excuse myself after I curse. Is that a question? Is that an answer?
Look, sometimes I was distracted and I didn't know how to formulate the formulations.
I thought you didn't smoke a joint before putting this together.
Oh, I was at work and it was 30 degrees and I was sweating. I was dying.
30 degrees sounds fabulous right about now. That's approximately the temperature in my basement, only it's Fahrenheit, not Celsius.
Yeah, no.
So, all right, I'm not sure how to interpret this. You want to rephrase this, Dan, and give us a hint of what you're talking about? Because even Mark has no idea what you're talking about.
I excuse myself after I curse. So I didn't want to put it into a question because you don't put it into a question, right? So when Mark curses, does he excuse himself? That's what I mean.
So this is a yes or no? Or is this a specific curse that you're referring to?
No, it's a kind of a yes or no.
All right, so I guess what is Ma shut the fuck up?
You'll understand.
Was this supposed to be in the Dan column and not? Do we transpose some questions?
Look, yeah, me and Mark were tight. We used to hang around, and
Okay.
he's got a foul mouth.
I know you drank a bottle of scotch with him. I'm sure Mark did all the heavy lifting on that, but
so nobody got that, huh?
I don't think anybody got that. But I had no idea what you were even fishing for here. So to be fair,
there's something. There's a theme happening here. Okay, so this was the shot of the theme.
Did one have to smoke a joint to see the theme? Is the theme in the room with you right now? Show us on the doll where the theme touched you, Dan.
All right. Okay. Let's go Stigler for 200. Come on.
Right. Preferred online playing platform. Stigler's preferred online playing platform. This is very easy. So let's So HUN644 with the fastest keyboard in the West, assuming he's in the West. I think let's reveal it. But what is Vassal? Daniel spelled Vassal wrong.
Okay, whatever.
There's 2 A's in Vassal. There's no E's in Vassal.
Whatever.
If there was E's in it, it would be a vessel, not a vassal.
Right.
Now I sound like Danny K.
Jesus Christ, and you sound like my goddamn neighbor trying to correct me in every French tense.
Well, French got a lot of tenses. What can I say? They're very tense.
Who got that?
That was HUN644.
He's killing it, man. Artie, you pick it now.
This is something I don't even want to think about, but thank you for never mentioning it again. Let's hide that. All right, we'll pick Dan for 100. I love to talk about this. Folks, the questions are sometimes extremely easy. This could be one of a number of things. It could be one thing or 2 things. This could be. All right. So I got Dale Brady with the first. Now Mike H. Mike H is probably the correct answer. What is Dan's toilet? Dan's spectacular Cuisinart super toilet that he spent $75,000 on.
Okay, and that was for how much, Mike?
That was for what? Dan for 100.
Hey, we're gonna have to do some sort of giveaway one day, yeah.
Well, once we get like the real thing going with a more advanced platform, I think there will be a prize. Actually, that's not a terrible idea at all. We talked about this before, but folks, right now we're polishing the format. So I wish I had 10 gigabyte internet. I wish I had 10 gigabyte upload. We had a little problem coming into the show where I hit go live on StreamYard, and then StreamYard says, "Sorry, there isn't enough bandwidth for you right now." And I'm like, what? Please wait 10 minutes, 10 to 60 minutes. Try again. I'm like, this is going to be a problem. So I just click out and hit go live, and it worked. And apparently it works. So Dan, pick us a question.
I'm to go now. Okay, yeah, Mark Herman for 100.
I am proud to be this. I think we're supposed to read this in Mark's voice.
Yes, of course. Because how am I not supposed to ask a question while asking a question?
Well, yeah, it's an answer. It's an answer. So I suspect that the correct answer has already been said. So, nobody has guessed a New Yorker. This was actually going to be my guess because I'd be pleased as punch to be a New Yorker. I'm from Cleveland instead. It's like the poor man's New York. So we'll give this to Mean Joe Green. How about that? So I thought it was going to be Grandfather actually, but New Yorker was actually my top guess. So Dan. What the hell happened to Dan? Dan has left the building. All right. Former member of the SPI softball team is actually a great one. So
what happened?
I don't know. I didn't throw you out, at least not on purpose.
And now he says he's from Brooklyn.
Brooklyn is part of New York City, Dan.
He never said once in any interview that he's from Brooklyn. He's proud to be a New Yorker. You have led me, Mark, astray.
Dan, Brooklyn is in New York City.
I'm talking about Manhattan.
I'm just saying. Well, yeah, but everybody thinks that unless you're from New York, in which case you might be from one of the other boroughs, right?
Right.
So, except Staten Island, nobody accepts them as New Yorkers. Right. I'm pretty sure.
Well, hold on. Okay, who got that?
That was Joe Green. Mean Joe Green has got that one for 100 points.
100.
All right, I'll pick a question since Dan doesn't want to pick every question. So for some reason, people are Brighton Beach is Brooklyn. Mark says that I did not know. The only thing I know about Brighton Beach is it's a movie with Matthew Broderick. That's all I know. I'll pick Artie for 100. Let's see how embarrassing this is. I love talking while doing this, and you can read that in my voice, like I just did. So this is also pretty easy. But Dan, the question scaling has been. We'll give this to Commando Solo. Watch it on Twitch for 100. I assume that's what Dan's going for on this. Why would you clip anything else? You can only really clip your counters or your fingernails, and nobody wants to watch me clip my fingernails on Monday night because that would be disgusting.
You gotta beat Hunt 644, man.
So
he's up by 100.
All right, Dan, it is your question.
Artie for 200.
Artie for 200. I used to do this, but I don't anymore. I don't know what this is. I would agree. Toenails are worse. I hope Dan's not wrong about this, because he might be. Shavings, work, smoke, cocaine. I didn't even see cocaine until I was like 25. And then I was at a party and I left because I didn't want to deal with that. All right, let's see what hilarity Dan has come up with. Chewing tobacco. That is true. I no longer chew tobacco. I did start smoking. I did start smoking again, but my goal is to quit by the end of the year. Unfortunately, I've never experienced either of these things, Mike Berticelli. Why is this not working? Gosh darn it.
What the hell? Am I on alone? Yes, I am. It's time to sing a song, sing a song. It's time to
All
sing
right.
a song.
I think that it's actually StreamYard's fault here tonight. So I don't think anybody got that. I haven't played D&D William Aarons in a while, but I haven't sworn it off necessarily as such. All right. No, this is not the mouse. This is StreamYard kicking us out for no obvious reason. I think it's mine. We'll take Dan for 300. How about that, Dan? Jose Ruiz is also known as blank. Everybody should know this too. We'll give I'll look at the question back in a minute. We'll come back to the last one because Tim Zales did get it. So I am smoking in the shorts. Okay, I don't do it on purpose, but I'm almost always smoking when I'm standing outside doing shorts.
I think Vince Ree nailed it.
Vince Ree has got the answer. Stuka Joe for 300 to Vince Ree. All right, so let's see. That was this one. So this was 200. So give Tim Zales 200 for the Artie question.
Oh my, we could have screwed that up, man.
Well, we didn't give it to anybody, right? So
that's not very professional.
Oh, look at that. Battles with Dice and Mice. Thank you so much for the support. It is much appreciated, and we are happy to have you here. So we will definitely have trivia. Will be coming back and will become a semi-regular feature. We're just trying to figure it out for the format. So thank you so much. Much appreciated. All right. Okay. Perfidious Albion has picked Feel Lucky for 500. We'll give it.
Okay.
Dan takes offense to all the shots taken at him during the CHIT show.
Remember, I said there's a theme here.
I'm not really sure what you're fishing for here. I mean, okay.
I don't know. My brain's not working.
Is this, are we supposed to guess what you take offense to when it is brought up?
No. Do I take offense to all the shots you guys give me?
So this is a yes or no question.
Kinda.
All right, we've got some answers, so let's give it a shot. What is Ma? Shut the fuck up. Okay, so I do believe I am starting to understand what Dan is getting at here.
You know what I'm saying? Is it just me, man?
No, it's not just you. I'm starting to get it, Dan.
You know what I mean?
All right, so it's safe to say nobody got that opaque thing. So, all right, I'll pick one here. We'll pick You Feel Lucky for 200. The age of the average Union soldier. I assume we're talking about in the American Civil War.
During the American Civil War. So I forgot a few details.
It's okay. So we're saying American Civil War. Well, you said Union, so I got the message. We're gonna give let some answers roll in here.
Yeah.
Because I don't know the number off the top of my head, but I think it's older than a lot of people are guessing. All right, I'm pushing the button. 25. Did anybody have 25?
No.
19 is the number for Vietnam. I could tell you that because there was a song about it. All right.
Wasn't it World War II also? 19?
No, World War II is skewed a little older. It's like 21 or 22 for World War II, something like that. I'm pulling that number directly from my ass, but all right. So nobody got that one. It's easy to say. We'll give it to Groucho Marx. Groucho Marx takes that for 25. That was worth 200, as I recall.
Groucho Marx takes
to Groucho. That's right. All right, and you're all only winning because Meandering Mike's not playing. But this isn't exactly Wargaming trivia, is it? This is more like the Dan and Artie show trivia.
How much was it?
200. 200.
All right.
All right. You're going to pick one now, Dan.
Artie for 400.
All right. Oh, look, Perfidious Albion agrees. I love going to cons to get this. I think I know where Dan's going with this. Louis the Lip. Louis the Lip. Maybe the song's wrong, but that's where I heard it from. So, all right. So we got. All right. I think probably Mr. Mike H probably has this correct. Con crud. That's the con crud. I've never had con crud that wasn't COVID, actually. So we'll give that to Mike H for 400 points.
Come on, 644. Your 644 is at 500. Vince Ria is at 400. And Mike H is at 400, man.
Okay, that's a lot then. All right, Dan, pick a question.
Mark Herman for 400.
Mark Herman for 400. I am different. All right. Yeah, one of our Thursday game this week got canceled because one of our guys who has managed to avoid getting COVID until now has just received the gift of COVID. So hopefully he won't be super duper sick. So I'll let some answers roll in here. What did Mark's mother always say? I have a hunch here. I'm going to push the button. Oops. What is a genius?
Come on, people.
All right. I thought this was going to be another Ma line. So this was my guess. I mean, okay, Mark's a genius. Who's arguing with this?
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
So well, you're not wrong, I suppose. Ma.
Is this too obscure or too abstract?
It might be a little on the abstract side, but that is okay, Dan. We are fine-tuning our process here for trivia night. So last time we did this, I had a bunch of super anal questions. Oh, well, at least several super duper anal questions that no realistic person, not named Meandering Mike, would have possibly gotten. Mike got several of the ridiculous questions anyway. So, all right. Yeah, kind of. Great episode, by the way. Absolutely ludicrous. So, but cool episode. All right, I'll pick one here, Dan. Let's see. We'll go with Stigler for 300. How many battles are there in By Sword and Bayonet? It's almost like you're from Ohio throwing random unwanted plurals in here, Dan. I really appreciate that as a native Ohioan.
What do you mean, unwanted plurals? It's
unwanted. It's because it's not actually Kroger's or Aldi's. It's Kroger or Aldi. For example, it's an Ohio thing. We like to throw a plural at the end of the word.
So it's By Sword and Bayonet.
It's By Sword and Bayonet. Bayonets plural.
Sorry, man.
You can't carry. What do you like? Double fisting bayonets here. All right. So let's see what we got here. 4 battles. All right. So I see. Scott Bell, sorry about that. So, yeah, we're having a great time here. I believe HUN644 has this one for 300.
No, him again. You better check, man.
I'm looking. I don't see anybody up there. We are all geniuses. At least everybody here. Only geniuses watch this show, as you're all aware.
Listen, I ain't normal, so you know what I'm saying?
Well, you're on the genius spectrum, as we like to call it, when you're in the room. So...
Okay, how much does he get? 400?
400. That was 300. Yeah, that was 300. All right, pick a question, Dan.
That was Hun 644?
Yes.
Pick a question. Artie for 300.
Artie for 300. Does my dog bite?
I didn't know how to formulate it.
Clearly not.
No, it's probably going to sound stupid now. You know,
Maybe. I do have a dog, actually. So she's a part pit bull, part English bulldog. And she is the biggest friggin' baby you could possibly imagine.
You got a dog?
So, yeah.
I didn't know you had a dog.
I do have a dog.
Well, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, nobody got this question. This is what I was thinking. Does your dog bite? No.
Yeah.
I thought you said your dog does not bite. That is not my dog.
I give it to Joe.
All right, we'll give it. That's not a question, Peter Sellers. I think we're giving this to Mark Herman. You know what? Nobody got this.
Nobody.
Mark's the guy that drug up Peter Sellers, but clearly a whole bunch of people got where I took it. So we're just not giving any points for that. All right, let's go with Dan for 400. A loose animal, and it's not your mother-in-law. These are more like jokes than questions, Dan.
No, man, no, man. It's a serious. Okay.
All right. I think I might. Yeah. I actually the audience here has been faster on the uptake than I am, so we're giving that to Mike H for 400 points. A moose. What is a moose?
Mike H. Holy crap! Mike H has 800.
My official French accent, by the way, when I decide to do the French accent, is basically from watching Pink Panther movies as a kid. So,
well, then it would be Parisian, yeah.
Well, I don't know how good a French accent it is. I don't think it's all that accurate. It's just like when the Americans play the Germans and they put on an outrageous German accent like this, like in Hogan's Heroes, for example.
Why is that funny? Hey, I got a joke.
So, oh boy,
you know that joke? Take my wife, please.
Yes.
The Germans have a different way of saying it. Take my wife. I command you.
Okay. There's no formal structure. I mean, there's an imperative in German, obviously, just like there is in English, but it's not like Latin where there's an actual imperative mood where there's a specific way you use the word when you're giving somebody an order. Romans were real big about that. Demonetized. There we go.
Come on, man. The guy said it at Just for Laughs in Montreal.
Yeah, Mike is our Ken. Who's that Ken guy that won all the Jeopardy things? Ken Whitman, Jenkins. Mike's that guy from of Wargaming. So he is promoted to the Tournament of Champions. It's the frog singing, "Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal." No. All right, Dan, it's your question to pick. Werner Klemperer was, but I'm not sure that the guy that played General Burkhalter was, and I know the guy that played Sergeant Schultz was not. So Werner von Klemperer only agreed to take the role with the stipulation that the character was to be an absolute buffoon and not good at anything. So, all right, give me a question, Dan. I think it's your turn.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, so, you've seen the mood I was in when I was writing these questions.
If that's you would like to what you'd like to call it, sure.
Yeah, and think out of the box, people, just a little bit, okay?
Well, we're well outside the box at this point, Dan.
Okay,
so pick a question.
Yeah, could you get Captain Nolan out of there? What's the matter, man? Okay, Stigler for 5.
Stigler for 500. What do Mark Herman, Herman Luttman, Richard Berg, Carl Paraday, Ben Hull, and Stigler all have in common?
Out of the box.
I don't know. Pillows. Another great movie, by the way. Tremendous loss when we lost Mr. John Candy.
Think simple.
All right. I think this is actually simple, even though it's the 500 point question.
Yes.
Well, this was simpler than I expected, I have to admit. I figured as soon as I saw the list of names, they all have published stuff through GMT. That was my guess. So nobody got this.
I got to throw a curveball. Come on.
Well, this was more like a spitball, knuckleball, a spittleball of some kind.
As long as he swings and he doesn't hit it. Man.
Gotta love a good knuckleball pitcher. All right, which there really aren't any of anymore. All right, I'll pick a question. This is not bad. I don't know that Stigler does any ancients though. Other than that, not sure Ben Hull's done any ancients either that I could think of. So, all right, so I'll pick one. You feel lucky for 3.
He died. He died. Remove him, and he comes back on. I'm going to start singing. Where's Artie? Come on, man. There you are.
All right, I'm not sure what just happened.
It's Mark's fault.
I doubt it. All right, let me pull the piss. Hold on.
Look at this violent picture, man. Nothing but violence. Man has not learned shite.
That actually might have screwed things up. That was what appears to have been a browser crash. All right, so I think we got, let's see here.
No.
We got that one. Yeah, reset the game, unfortunately, because the whole tab all the tabs actually crashed. So let's do 4 more questions here, Dan. We'll take Artie for 500. Okay, how about that?
It's not on, eh? It's not.
All right, yeah, I'm working on that. Give me a second. All right, I excuse myself after I curse.
Remember, people?
Outside the box. Way outside the box. There is no box. Just like there is no spoon, there is no box. I'd have to actually look at the image to be completely honest about it. All right, let's see what we got. What is Ma Shut the Fuck Up? All right, we're giving this one to Commando Solo from our good friends at Twitch. And I expectorate it all over the screen here. That's worth 500 points.
Oh, man.
All right. I should just try to use the mouse. All right, did we do Mark Herman for 500? I don't think we did.
I don't know.
All right, let's find out. I heard the news of Richard Berg's passing at this con. I'm not sure I heard that Mark had heard about it at a con. Unless you mean you. But I assume you mean Mark heard at the con.
You know, okay. I can't be that whacked.
Okay. This was when the browser crashed. So hold on a second. Let me scroll back up.
Yeah. So we're going to have to go back for the one.
Yeah, I got it. Hold on a second. All right. The first one I am seeing is unfortunately HUN 644 new. Remember, folks, that you may be seeing the comments in a different order than I see them, but one of us has to be definitive. So we're using mine here. So HUN 644 new gets that question. Dan, do you remember how many points that was worth?
What even question was it? Oh,
the one flew over the cuckoo's nest question.
I think it was 300 for one flew over the cuckoo's nest. Was that it?
Yeah, 300 to HUN 644.
So, okay, 300, HUN 644. And holy cow.
Who's also doing I mean, he's definitely understanding the assignment here. I'm not sure I'm understanding the assignment, but he certainly is.
Shiza, man.
All right, so let's get back to Mark. WBC. So we do have some WBC answers. The first one I see is once again Mr. Fast Modem and Fast Fingers. HUN 644 new.
For how much?
That's worth 500 points.
Oh, he's far ahead, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, and I think we got 2 more here, Dan, so I'm just going to do them in order, okay?
Go ahead. Make my day.
Apparently, you guys are separated at birth or something. Some people think this animal lives in the Toronto area of Canada.
Yeah, think stupid people. You know, I watch a lot of those American things, like How Smart Are
There's only 2 things this could be. So... and they're both a little bit ridiculous. I'm going to wait for a couple more answers to come in.
And yeah. What is Dan? Scott, I swear to God.
A polar bear. So I figured this was either going to be polar bear or moose, but I assume they actually do have moose in Toronto.
No!
Certainly at the zoo. I like Vince Ree's answer the best. Bigfoot.
No, my ex-mother-in-law's dead.
But you called her Bigfoot?
No, I used to call her Bleep, Bleep.
Captain
bleep,
Nolan gets this one, actually. So, Dan, give Captain Nolan 500 points for the polar bear answer. And what I'm declaring our last question here, I think we're gonna miss a question or so, but this is funny, actually. Dan takes offense to all the shots taken at him during the CHIT show.
It's due to 400.
Okay. Union soldiers excuse themselves after cursing.
Did we do that?
I don't think so. We did several of these.
You see what I'm saying, man?
I'm just checking on the other one. No, there's no round 2. We can't. I don't think we can. We're not moving smoothly enough. Maybe we can get this down. We can have more questions. That would be totally fine. All right. So I'm thinking we've seen the answer already. What is Ma Shut the Fuck Up? That's going to go to Mike H.
Mike H.
Mike H.
How much did you get?
This is 400 points.
Son of a beast.
All
There's
right, so
another question somewhere, man.
There is, but I don't know what it was, and I can't scroll back without like going through the video, and I'm not going to do that. We are having some actual technical problems, and these are StreamYard issues actually tonight. So that last night it was me being an idiot. Tonight it's StreamYard's fault. So
that's right.
It's fair to say that the show I would not advise. I mean, if you as a parent think that this is appropriate entertainment for your child, then that is up to you, and it is on you, and it is not our responsibility. We have declared the show to YouTube as this show is not for children. However, because you gotta check a box if it's not for children, and I have checked that. I always check that box.
Is that it?
That we're saying that that's it. So Dan, read the scores off.
All right. So okay.
Papa says we got them all, and I'm going to assume he's correct. We're close to within a question. But this is fair too. I think there's probably some senior citizens that our show is not appropriate for. I know we have angered a few over the years, and I'm completely comfortable with that.
Manders has 300. Perfidious has 400. Vince Rhea has 400. Mike H has. Oh, look at that! I put 2 Mike H's. Well, Mike H has 1,500.
Ooh, Mike H kicking ass. I still think, keep reading.
Tim Zales,
200?
200.
Okay, because we did not have any questions worth 2.
Right. Okay, Commando Solo has 600.
600.
Joe Green. We have a Mean Joe Green here.
Mean Joe Green is here.
100.
100 points.
And last but not least, Groucho 200. I said Tim Zales 200. Okay. And Hunt644 has
But the math is happening right now, folks.
this can't be. Hold on, you screwed me up when you said that, Artie.
Okay, sorry.
How can I work?
We're actually putting effort into this ESRs. This not so much. The idea that we should review the questions ahead of time is a great idea. Like I said, I think next time we might try Kahoot and see how that works, because that's actually going to keep track of scores for us and keep track of question entry. But like, you'll have to go either download an app or go to a separate website to play, and not everybody's going to be able to do that. So go ahead, Dan.
Hunt644 has 1,400.
So he's number 2. Somebody had 16?
Mike H.
Had 1,600. Okay, that is unexpected. I thought HUN644 was gonna walk off. But fortunately, folks, there are no prizes here tonight. So if Dan's math is off, tough.
My math is off.
You are off, Dan. It's okay. We're all off a little bit.
I'm sorry. Mike H has 1,300. The winner goes to Hunt644.
Okay, that sounds right, but I wasn't keeping track either. I was just keeping, sort of notionally keeping track in my head.
I'm doing too many things, man.
Dad is a green screen. Dan has a green screen to keep whatever else he's got on the wall behind him going up there. So, no Noble Knight coupons.
Oh, you know what? That's not bad. That's a good idea.
Noble Knight coupons? That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
There is what is it?
What did Steve Harvey? Oh, Steve Harvey did mess up, man.
What about Steve Harvey?
I think he messed up at a America pageant or something.
I don't know anything about this. I don't know anything about this. Actually, this is not a bad idea at all. And I got Mike's email address. I could having him write some questions is not a bad idea. Actually.
Are you kidding? He's going to kill us. So no, we're not going to answer one of them.
Well, he's not going to be able to be a player if he's going to write the questions, Dan. Right?
God sakes, man.
Yeah, that's not going to work at all.
You know what I'm saying?
So anyway, there is a kind of a rolling Noble Knight coupon, but I can't remember that off the top of my head. It's like NK user or something like that. That's usually worth 10% off. Is what I usually use if it's active at the time. So, hey, this is not a terrible idea either, to be honest. This was an experience. What kind of experience? We're not sure.
Hey, look, man, I was under duress, man.
That's okay. Hey, I got to hand it to Dan for coming. Did not help him at all. I had no visibility on this. So, Mark, thanks for coming out tonight. I think this is this Saturday? Am I right about that, Mark? It's at like 8 a.m. Pacific time or some obscene time like that. Mark will be on Fred's channel.
Yeah, Mark.
Let me pull this up. Actually,
he doesn't sleep. Mark, what are you gonna do? It's 6 hours difference, man.
He's got a teach and play. No, this happened earlier today. Here, I'll actually throw that's perfect because I can throw the link in the chat. So this is the link over at Homo Ludens of, gosh darn it. All right, that's just something I was showing Dan before the show. So here's the link to Fred's stream with Mark and Mark Ruggiero. It's Mark and Mark.
Oh yeah, it's Mark and Mark Ruggiero. Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's because it's on Twitch. I can't get rid of Twitch, so it's fine. It's fine. I'm not worried about it. Fix what? Well, let's try Kahoot next time. Kahoot is it's like an educational website that has a lot of different tools on it. But one of the things you can do is like do quizzes and stuff. So we will give it a shot and see what happens. And we can actually use, if I'm just experimenting anyway, we can use some of the questions we already come up with. So that's not a problem.
Why would you do that for?
Just to see how it works.
Oh, I see.
Not live, right? It's just we're just fooling with it, right? Sorry. That's what I'm saying. So we might try a different platform next time. So, I came to terms a long time ago with the idea that this show is essentially an entertainment show for wargamers, and I believe Dan is comfortable with that too. Yes, we strive to be informative and helpful and community minded and all that, but we're basically an entertainment show, and I hope everybody's having a good time.
And we're trying to take this an idea, trying to take this to a con, because it'd be fun. Actually,
we're going to have a conversation about this, actually. I know we've already had a conversation about this, but yeah, it'd be a cool idea. I have an idea that might actually be better than WBC for that event.
Yeah, you always got to one-up me, huh?
No, it's not much farther. It might actually be a little closer to you, to be honest. So if you were going to drive to WBC, how would you go? Through Niagara? No, I realize that, but would you like cross the border in Niagara or what?
Nah, I would take the 87.
Okay.
Yeah,
and you come down around. Does that like take you down around Windsor?
No, I'm going the way of Albany, Schenectady.
Okay.
Okay,
I get what you're saying. So you're crossing the St. Lawrence rather than crossing at Detroit.
Yeah.
So go or somewhere or Erie or someplace like that.
Yeah, it's in Philadelphia.
It's Seven Springs, Pennsylvania is where WBC is. Currently, it used to be in Lancaster, but everybody agrees that location was a crap hole. Don't you guys? Do you guys?
Because I'm screaming and my wife doesn't want to hear me.
Now, is your office / streaming space in a basement or above ground or what?
In a basement.
Okay, so isn't it cool? I mean, it's like an ice chest in here. I'm in the basement.
It's freaking 30-something degrees outside with the humidity. Basically, it's water.
But those are Canadian degrees.
Yeah.
Right. So that's like 12 real degrees.
No.
So.
No.
I've never been to Lancaster, actually. I might have driven through it, but I've never been to Lancaster. It's on the other side of Pennsylvania, and I don't like to drive all the way through Pennsylvania. It takes forever. And you got to drive through like a lot of like steel country, like, post-industrial wasteland, right?
What is 30 degrees in actual temperature? Let me check it out.
86. 86? Dan, it was, when I was at Origins, it was 96.
Hey, hold on a second there, big guy.
So that's hold on, because I got to figure out, so we got 96 F to C is 30, almost 30 C, round up, it's 36 degrees C.
Hold on a second.
Lancaster is fairly close to Gettysburg, that's true.
Yesterday it was 38 here.
30. Oh, that's pretty hot. I gotta admit, that's pretty hot.
It's humid.
That's like Ecuador hot, man. It's not even supposed to get that hot in Canada.
Well, I can't stand this crap.
You also got that sort of compact frame that's keeping the heat in, right? You got to be all long and wiggly, and you'll just expire.
Even when I was slim, I was always hot. I hated the sun. I hate the sun, and I hate the heat.
Is this where the dressing is from? Is what I want to know. So.
Yeah, I do cross there sometimes. Actually, when I go to yes, I cross that. Thousand Island Bridge, $15. You got $15? Yeah, I got $15.
That seems a little high.
Is it? Am I mistaken or what?
I don't know, but I've actually never been to Canada as an adult. My parents took me to Niagara Falls when I was a kid, And I remember it, but I mean, I wasn't in charge of anything, so I don't friggin' know. So,
how much is it? Are you looking at it? You're like my wife. My wife.
I mean, I'm not really able to look up the what it costs to cross the bridge on the fly like this.
Hold on, I'll check it out.
Florida at this time of year. Now, I have been to Florida again as a kid, but I've been to Florida as an adult as well. But we went to Disney World when I was, I don't know, 13 or something like that, in July, or I think it was in July, and it sucked. I got heat stroke. It sucked. So, is it this cheap? I thought this was more. It's been easily 12 years since I've driven across the George Washington Bridge.
Yeah.
But I would have expected this to be more than this by now, to be completely honest. So they've kind of got you over a barrel. You want to get into New York City or you don't. So you're crossing the bridge, right? So.
Oh, man.
There you go. This is a good idea. Bring your own. You might want to bring the toilet. I mean, if I had a toilet that fancy, I wouldn't be satisfied with peasant toilets after that either, to be fair.
Talking about toilets, you know what the heat does to me? Huh?
Gives you the poops?
Yeah, it gives me the everything.
Okay.
I almost puked today. I almost passed out, and I almost shit my pants.
Okay. So I think I've told this story before. My first time I went to New York City was in around August of 2002. Okay, that date's important. So remember, August of 2002. And at the time, I was working for a hardware warehouse, and our boss was cheap. But we had just signed this major sales deal with Amtrak that said, we are going to send our people are going to come into your Amtrak rail repair yards, and we are going to tear out all the nut and bolt bins and whatever you got. We're going to put ours up. There's going to be stickers with our barcodes. You can just scan the barcode and reorder. It's going to be great. Well, they didn't have manpower on the sales force to do this in 100, whatever it was, Amtrak rail yards. So the people at the warehouse in Cleveland got to make some field trips, right? So my boss says, hey, we're going to New York City. There's a Amtrak yard in Queens. We're going to go rip their shit down and replace it with our stuff. So I'm like, oh, that sounds fun. Cool. But my boss is, like me, a cheapskate. So we drive. It's about a 9-hour drive from Cleveland to New York City. So we drive. We get there. We spend about 2 days and then a little bit of a Wednesday. And we're done in the Amtrak yard by about 10 or 11 a.m. on Wednesday. And my boss is like, it's kind of too late to drive home right now. Let's just stay and fart around in New York City for the rest of the day, and we'll drive home first thing in the morning. So cool. We get to fart around in Manhattan for most of the day, and that was fun. So the next morning, we leave the hotel in Queens, which was overlooking what was then called Shea Stadium, by the way. You could kind of see into the stadium from where we were in the hotel. So we leave the hotel in Queens at 5:45 in the morning. At exactly 5:45 in the morning, a car ran into the back of a semi on the bottom level of the George Washington Bridge and exploded. What happens in 2002 when there's an explosion on a bridge in New York City? They shut the island down. Now, they determined relatively quickly that it was an automobile accident and not a terrorist attack, but they still had to clean this burning wreckage out of the bridge. We were on the highway in Manhattan, stopped, dead, stopped. People getting out of their cars. I'm not even making this up. There's some people with a barbecue grill in the back of their pickup truck that started it up and were like grilling sandwiches and shit. We were stopped dead on the highway in New York City for 5.5 hours.
Oh, man.
So it was like, wow. So since then, I have had not incredibly motivated to make fun of, get really salty about Ohio traffic. Let me put it that way.
Hey, wasn't there a scam about that some mayor or something, Georgia, the bridge, and he said, let them stay there a while longer or something? What the hell was that about?
I'm not sure this is the same thing at all, but.
Okay. All right.
So. Yeah, 9 hours, something like that. That's approximately correct. And then we ended up not getting home till 10 p.m. anyway, or 10 or 11 p.m. anyway. Wow, so, so I don't remember the details of this, but I believe there was some kind of Chris Christie related New Jersey thing. But that's New Jersey. That's not a real state. It's like the Bud Light. It's like the Bud Light of states.
Yeah.
Right.
That wasn't the same time now, was it?
No. That would have been at least 10 years after, 10, 15 years after, at least 10 years anyway, after the story I just related.
Do you believe the gall that this guy actually will personally do something out of spite?
I think he got sued over it. So, like I said, I don't remember the details, and I'm unwilling to discuss it if I don't remember the details because I don't want to be wrong. I hate being wrong. Being wrong sucks.
But I mean, there should be way more wicked penalties than that, man.
There's the powerful don't get penalized, Dan. There's like a trap. If you take I forget what highway it is, but it might be I-80. If you take I-80 and you're going from our part of the country to Compass Expo, you drive very close to New York City, and there's one exit that if you stop at the wrong exit, it's the only exit like this. If you stop on before that exit, you're in Pennsylvania. If you stop after that exit, you're in New York. But if you stop at that one exit, you're in New Jersey, and you can't pump your own gas, and you don't know that because you don't have any idea. You're in New Jersey, right? So you get out of the car, you reach for the pump, and the employee runs out. Oh, sir, you can't touch the gas pumps here. This is New Jersey. So.
My Christ.
It's so weird. That is such a weird thing.
Hilarious.
Such a weird thing.
That reminds me, man, that when I was studying in New Jersey, Asbury Park, we went to Liquors, right? Liquor.
I don't even know her.
I don't even know, whatever.
Hey, he's rubbing off on me here, folks. What can I say?
So she says, can I have your ID? And it was this woman there, So
they don't talk like that in New Jersey.
Right. I'm wrong. I'm thinking.
Dan's good. You know what? With this accent, Dan is going to fit right in New Jersey.
So, anyways, the girl says, "Can I have your ID?" So we pull out our driver's license, and it's written where we're from. And she says, "Where are y'all from? Cuba?"
It's just like Cuba, except our weather sucks, and there are moose, and our cigars are not as good.
I guess you're right.
So.
Oh, my God.
So, I don't know if that's... we didn't tip. I have no idea. I don't know if that's expected or not, to be honest.
No, that's a nice thing to do,
Okay, well, I don't know. Like I said, I spend as little time in New Jersey as I possibly can. I remember flying through Newark. I don't know. It's probably the worst airport I've ever flown through. So we're flying. I have a layover at Newark Airport to fly up to Albany, I believe. So my flight out of Cleveland is delayed, or Columbus, I think at the time. My flight out of Cleveland is delayed. So we get to Newark and we get off the plane, and there's literally 9 minutes before the next plane takes off. Now, at some airports, like, say, Houston, which is a big, modern, beautiful, big, very spread out, it's too big airport, but it's modern, right? So they've got, like, this tram that you could get on to go from terminal to terminal. Do they have that at Newark? No. They have a bus. And it's an old, busted-ass bus that's driven by the exact guy that you would expect would be driving a bus in New Jersey. Yeah, get in the fucking bus. Sir, we've only got 7. Yeah, shut your fucking mouth. I got to get you there in time. Don't worry about it. And he did. So, bravo to that guy. Sit the fuck down back there. So, yeah, but they're all not in the parts of Jersey I've been to. So. If New Jersey, if Newark, the city might have like a light rail system. I'm talking about the airport. So,
what about Weehawken?
I've never been to Weehawken, and I don't know what else is in with Ralph. Yeah, I mean, I think Ralph Cramden was supposed to have been in New York and not New Jersey, but it's basically the same thing. This was if there was a tram. This again, bear in mind, this is probably 10 years ago. So maybe it's got a tram now. I don't know. We also saw rodents at the airport, by the way. Yes, actually, seriously. So there's that too. But
well, it's funny how New Jersey gets a bad rap, man. It's the Garden State, man.
comparable in a lot of ways. I'll actually agree with this. But the garden is not where the people live. Okay, where the people don't live. New Jersey is a beautiful state. Where the people live, it's not that great. And Ohio's not different, right? In this respect. However, there is one huge and very important difference between Ohio and New Jersey, and that is that the cost of living in New Jersey is spectacularly higher than it is here in Ohio. We have one of the best costs of living in the country. So there's that. I thought this house would have cost 3 times as much in New York State. I'm not talking New York City, but I'm talking like up in the Albany area. Yeah, it would have cost 3 times as much. So.
What is this? Is New Jersey socialist, for God's sakes?
No, it's just that it's all about housing availability and population density. We're way more spread out here in Ohio than they are in New Jersey. Because remember, like New Jersey, that heavily populated part of New Jersey that's right across the East River from New York City is basically part of the city, right? I know I'll probably make the New Yorkers mad when I say that Jersey City is basically part of New York City, but it's part of that metro area, right? And that spikes the costs for everybody living in the state. So I lived in Streetsboro for a couple of years as well when I was working for Delphi out in Warren, Ohio, and it's nice. It's nice. And by market, I assume that Eric's talking about the West Side Market, which is on the west side of Cleveland proper. That is a pretty cool experience to go there. I haven't been there in years. We should go there. Maybe we'll go there this Saturday. What?
Click on Wolf Dog.
This is fantastic. The other thing we did while we were in New York City on that trip that I just related the story about. This, and we'll end the show. I'll tell you this one anecdote. Me and the other. So there's basically 2 bozos. There's like the manager, my manager, who's like it was like the divisional head, and the sales guy. And there's 2 bozos from the warehouse, and that's basically me and this other guy. One bozo from the warehouse, that was me, and the bozo from the office. So the 2 bozos, me and this other dude, had a great time. We're working in the rail yard. We'd go to like a restaurant or something like that to eat lunch or whatever, and we would both pretend that we were Amish, because that's the expectation that they have in New York City. If you're not from New York City or possibly Chicago, Houston, or L.A., you're definitely some breed of bumpkin. So we were like, oh yeah, we're from Ohio. How you doing? So, and nobody questioned it at all. So. It was fantastic. No relation to my knowledge, but Drew is from Cleveland. I'm not from Cleveland proper. I'm from the west side of Cleveland, but I'm not sure where Drew Carey actually grew up either, to be honest. A lot of people, you might be surprised. Harlan Ellison was from Cleveland, for example. Bob Hope was from Cleveland. But admittedly, when Bob Hope was born, it was like in 1899, and it was a very different Cleveland than the Cleveland I grew up in.
You ever watch Whose Line Is It Anyways?
I have seen it, yeah. So I'm in line. So it's funny you should mention this, Mr. Longshore, because I'm in line like 2 days ago. I'm in line at Chipotle, and the lady dishing out the whatever it is that they have is like seeing to the burnt guy in front of me, and the elderly, I don't want to say super duper elderly, but probably a bit older than me, lady behind me asks, I'm not making this up. I am not making this up. Asks me, what's a bowl? Because I put my order in. I say, I'd like a burrito and a bowl to go, please. The lady, what's a bowl?
You're talking about a bowl of chili.
I'm talking a bowl of Chipotle. I turned to her and looked at her and said, it's a bowl. They put food in it. It's a bowl with food in it.
Yeah, but she thought it was on the menu, man.
Why do you need it's on the menu? You can get a bowl or burrito. It's a bowl with food in it. I'm like, wah! What's wrong with humanity here, man?
Okay.
And then she said to her, like, her granddaughter that was there, it's like, oh, I don't eat Mexican food. What are you here at Chipotle for? Why? Why am I being mistreated in this way by these morons? What's a bowl?
Ah, Christ. Already the show. It's over.
The show is over, folks. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight and for putting up with the vast array of bullshit you have put up with this evening. Hopefully we won't be seriously demonetized We will be back next week with a new show and hopefully some happy times. So hopefully everybody had a great time tonight, and we'll see you all next week.
Big move. Big. The moose is loose. Big moves. Big. The moose is loose. Big move.